Spoiler warning! You have been warned. There will be spoilers in this video. So, I got to watch Project Hail Mary yesterday, and well, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. So, Project Hail Mary is this movie where Ryan Gosling goes to space and he meets an alien and they kind of like become friends and they figure out how to do things, right? The Hail Mary is a spaceship that needs to go to, I don't exactly remember what it's called. I think it's a different star, right? It's not the sun. It's a different star far, far away, like 11 light years away or something like that. But he needs to go over there in the Hail Mary, the ship, to collect samples of these, I think they're called astrophages, something like that, like astrophage. Because this astrophage is like infecting all of the different galaxies and stars and stuff. You know what I mean? And so he goes on this not willingly, because he didn't willingly go on the trip. He was originally a school teacher, right? And he teach like science and all that, and yeah, astrology, you know all the star things, space things, and all that. And then, somebody came to him and told him, "We're gonna need you, buddy. So you're gonna come with us, okay? You're gonna come with us." And so he does, and he figures out how the astrophage breeds. He made like this cardboard box or something, because the astrophage needs complete darkness to breed, I think. And basically he kind of recreated like the planets, right? He recreated Venus, because that's where they go to breed. The astrophage goes to breed and reproduce. And so he figures out how they reproduce, right? Cool. He goes on this mission, and the movie actually originally starts with him like being confused and everything, because he doesn't know what's going on, because he got knocked out. He got like put to sleep because he wasn't willing to go on this mission. Because one thing about the mission is it's a one-way ticket. You go over there, you send a couple of, what's it called, like little starships home, like probes, right? I think that's what they're called. You send probes home with all the information, and you die. So obviously he wasn't willing to go and do that. But the two options, either way, like both options sucked in this movie. Like it all really sucked, man, because it was either go with the Hail Mary, with Project Hail Mary, go to, that other star 11 light years away, or it was die in 30 years. Because when, the sun is infected as well, it is eating the light. The astrophage is eating the light, which means that crops will slowly start to not grow, and grass won't grow, and it'll be darkness, and animals will get, obviously they'll stop reproducing because there's no food, right? And so it's a bad scenario, man. Either way, it's like this is the worst scenario to be in, man. So when the movie starts, He's in the Hail Mary in the ship. He's confused, trying to figure out what's going on and everything. And he has a masterful beard. I'm not gonna lie. He has a a really good looking beard. Ryan Gosling overall, man, he's a good looking dude, man. But anyways, so he figures out what's going on. He figures out that they sent him on this trip. He figures out what the mission is, and then he also figures out that his crewmates, because there were 3 people on the Hail Mary, are both dead. They both died. So it's just him, controlling the entire Hail Mary and keeping everything in check and all that. Which, by the way, man, dude, like, huge shout out to this, to his character. His actual Ryan Gosling's character, he plays a guy named Grace. So it's not actually just like his name, Ryan Gosling. It's Grace. And Grace, like, he knows what to do, bro. He's skilled, man. He's skilled. Even though he's not like he's not an astronaut, and he mentioned that a couple of times during the movie. But he did a pretty good job. Anyways, after a while, he runs into this like weird structure in the middle of just space, like there's nothing around, right? And for some reason, the structure, it like he goes this way with the ship, like the Hail Mary goes this way and the structure goes this way. Like it follows him around as he moves his ship. And he gets thrown like a couple of messages in these like weird like containers, like black containers. He gets thrown these messages. He grabs them, goes in, studies them, tries to figure out how to open these like containers. He figures it out, and he finds out that it is not like a, well, he doesn't know this specifically, but he's starting to think that this is a living, like, thing, right? Well, obviously, because the whole structure was moving around, so it's probably a ship, and there's probably something living in it to control it, right? And so he looks at these messages. He figures out, oh, okay, these are planets and like this is a system, like a galaxy thing, like a, you know what I mean, like a universe thing, right? So he says, hey buddy, you're far from home, and he creates his own, like, what do you call those things with the, like, the diagram where it has like lines shooting out to different planets from the middle, from the sun, from the star of the galaxy. I don't know, diagram, but something like, all right, whatever. He makes like this thing that tells where his planet is, where Earth is, and he sends that over to the alien spaceship. Alien spaceship picks it up, and it's like, okay, very nice, very cool. The alien spaceship, I don't know how it does this. It sends out something that kind of like builds a whole tunnel towards the Hail Mary. Like, it's crazy. It's like a docking system of some kind. Grace comes out of the Hail Mary, and he's like walking. He's like, oh wow, oh, look at this tunnel. Oh, holy guacamole. And so he gets to a, like, I want to say it's like a glass type. It's like a window, but it's not really a window because it's like alien, but you can see through it. So it's like a window. Yeah, it's like a window. Okay, so he's here and he's trying to figure out, hello, is anybody in there? Is anybody doing anything in there? And then this weird looking thing, man. It looks like a bunch of rocks put together. That's what it looks like. It just looks like a bunch of rocks put together. but it's kind of like a rock spider. It walks up, and obviously Grace is like, "What's that?" He gets scared, but after a while, he starts like interacting with the rock spider, and he starts to kind of like journal the things that the rock spider says, but because it's in an alien language, right? So all he's hearing is it's more it's more actually it's a little more like orchestral, like heavenly, the sounds that the rock spider makes. But anyways, after a while of journaling like the different words, he puts like a text to speech type of thing. Like he uh attaches a microphone onto the rock spider, and it's kind of like a speech to text to speech, like speech in the original alien language, then text in English, and then speech in English. And he gives the rock spider a a voice and also a name. Grace decides to name the rock spider Rocky, which, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. I get it. But anyways, now they can kind of sort of like communicate together. Rocky tells Grace that his crew, or I mean, I don't even think the. All right, sorry, I was gonna call, but anyways, what I was saying is I don't even know if Rocky even has a gender to speak of, because like it's a rock. I'ma call him a him, but it's a rock. But anyways, now they can communicate and they can work together, right? Rocky tells Grace, "Hey, my whole damn crew died, man. There was like flipping 20 of us, dude, and we all died. We all died. I was the only one who was alive, who survived, and so that's pretty sad, right?" And now, Rocky's saying, "Man, I feel so much better with you here, Grace. It's so good to have somebody here, and all that." And they also, Rocky's like species also has this weird like tradition type of thing where they sleep on top of one another. So they create this rock pile type of thing. And so Rocky says, "Let me sleep on top of you." And Grace says, "Oh no, thank you. I'm gonna go back to my spaceship. Good luck." And after he moves his bed. He moves his bed so it's like under the glass window type of thing where Rocky is, and Rocky just lays down on the glass, and Grace is like, and Rocky's right here. The glass right here. Rocky's right here. And Grace like it. But anyways, they work together to find out exactly what is happening. Why is astrophage infecting everything? Right? Every star and stuff. And they go to this planet. They figure out that by the way, this scene is beautiful, dude. So Grace goes outside of the spaceship to, open the catcher, which the catcher, it catches the astrophage as it flies by, and for like a couple of seconds, maybe like a minute, we get to see this scene where the astrophage is flying by Grace, and it's just like red, like that like material that it's kind of like glitter. It's kind of like glitter, but they're the circle ones. They like glow in the light and stuff. When they like spin. and it's just beautiful. That scene is probably one of my favorite scenes from the movie, dude. Grace is just there. He's just looking like this, and all the astrophage is flying by him. The some of it's getting caught in the catcher, and it's just beautiful, man. You gotta be there because they also like the music in this movie is yeah, it hits the spot, man. It hits the spot. It hits the mark perfectly. I feel like the music was great in this movie. After that, they study the astrophage a little bit. They say, okay, cool. That's all good. Very good. And then they realize, wait a second. The reason why the astrophage is spreading to other, stars and everything is because there's a predator that is eating the astrophage. And it's on this green planet thing. And so they get an idea. They're like, okay. Let's build a catcher for the predator. But how are we going to do that? We can't do that. Grace is like. And then Rocky says, buddy, I can build a 5-kilometer long chain. All right. That's easy work. And so he builds that. The catcher's built. Throw down the catcher. And this is a very important sequence of events because here you cannot go into the atmosphere of the planet because the Hail Mary wasn't designed to enter the atmosphere of the planet, right? And so you have to be right above the atmosphere line so that the ship doesn't burn up and kill everybody. And so they're steadily right above that line. Drop the catcher. The catcher catches the predator, which is some sort of like amoeba or something. And then it's time to retrieve the catcher. So Grace goes out, retrieves it, he drops it, it goes down there on the ship. He's on the top of the ship, but it's down there now, and it's like hanging off of something, and he needs to go down there and grab it, and he does that, and then he goes in, but then the ship is like, oh no, we're about to enter the atmosphere. That's no good. We're about to burn up. So Grace has to hurry up, right? Oh, shoot. And it's kind of hard to move because obviously you're in space. So it's kind of hard to move in space. And so he gets in, and he gets in the pilot, and he's like, oh no, we're all gonna die. And then, for some reason, I don't remember how, but first of all, one of the fuel tanks was breached. They had to get rid of that fuel tank. Also, the ship was like spinning out of control. Okay, and Grace got his face like smashed into one of the screens by the centrifugal force, the gravity, the I'm using more than 3 brain cells here. Hold on. I think it's the centrifugal force. So, ship spinning, right? Grace is like, oh no, and he gets his face smashed into one of the screens, and he gets knocked out. So now, like, he kind of like wakes up, and he's like, oh, I need to push this button and this other button. So he flips open the switches, and then now the button's there, right? But then, and he gets knocked out again. And so Rocky can't do anything about it because Rocky lives in like this sort of like glass ball because he would die if he's outside of the glass ball for some reason. I think it's because of the astrosphere or some. atmosphere. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird, but he lives in this glass ball and he rolls around in it and stuff. And this was like, for me, this was the saddest part of the movie because Rocky decides to break that ball and go out and actually touches the buttons, and the centrifugal force gets stabilized and the ship gets stabilized. But all the red lights are flashing and everything, and Rocky grabs Grace and brings him to the Hail Mary's automated robot medical system team, whatever. It's like a robot that heals Grace or something. And then, as Rocky's going over there, he's like melting for some reason. Black smoke is coming out of him. I don't know what's happening, but I do understand what's happening. Rocky is sacrificing himself to save Grace. So Grace, he wakes up after a while, and he's like, "Oh wow, feel a lot better now." And he's like, "Hey, where's Rocky at?" And he explores the ship a little bit, trying to find where Rocky's at, and he sees all like these black marks. Like imagine it was like black liquid, black goo on the floor. And he's like, I'm suspecting something here. Something happened. He follows that black liquid all the way to where Rocky is. Rocky got back inside of his little like glass bubble thing. Very flexible glass because like you can kind of like push it in, sorta. It's like, yeah, it's very flexible. But anyways, he gets back into his bubble, and then Grace sits down. He's like, "I promise you, I'm gonna figure this out, man. But you gotta wake up, buddy. All right?" And that's it. They just Rocky leaves one final message. He just says, "Save Earth and save Arid," right? And Arid is like his home planet. He's an Iridian, and it was very sad. It was a very emotional season. The way I'm describing it right now doesn't make it emotional, but if you saw the movie, you know what I'm talking about. It was very sad. It was a very emotional scene. Okay, and I kind of teared up, bro, because I like Rocky. Rocky's cool. Rocky's very cool. And it kind of like, the movie really focuses on the dynamic between these two, Grace and Rocky, and like their friendship and figuring out stuff together. And it really develops both of these characters very well, I feel like. And when a character's so well developed, and you feel like you kind of have like this connection to that character on the screen because like their back, what happened, what I mean. It was sad, man. I kind of had to sneeze, but I held it in. Anyways, so after a while of Grace studying this predator amoeba, he figures out what it is. He figures out what it does. He figures out that, yes, this predator amoeba is eating this astrophage and forcing it to spread out, right, to other stars. And then he just sits down and he just starts crying. He's like, oh, because the theory of the predator eating the astrophage was actually thought of by Rocky. You know what I mean? So Rocky helped him figure it out, even with Rocky not being in the picture anymore. You know what I mean? And so he figures this out. He gives the predator a name, and he also, this was a good action from Grace in this movie, I feel like, because it made it a lot more meaningful. He went to Rocky, and Rocky was still like, he was still presumed dead. And he went to Rocky and he talked to Rocky. He told him like, "Oh, I figured this out, and this is the name I gave the predator and everything, blah 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 blah." Okay, cool. A little while later, all right, Grace is sleeping peacefully. He's like, and then you hear a little glass ball rolling. You know what that means. So Rocky's back. He's still alive. He rolls over to where Grace is, and he's like, "Grace, hey, Grace, buddy." And Grace was like, "Oh, Rocky, man, leave me alone, man. Come on, I'm trying to sleep here." And then Grace was like, "Oh, Rocky, no way!" And you know, Grace hugs the glass ball and everything, and you know, it was just very cute scene. I liked it a lot. And like they I don't know how to explain this, but somehow Rocky has like a bunch of astrophage, which is what's used to fuel the Hail Mary. And he tells Grace, this was actually before this. It's kind of all right. It's kind of mixed up, kind of mixing stuff up. But I wanted to go back to this because this is very important. Grace originally doesn't have a way back home because the ship doesn't have enough fuel. Rocky tells Grace that he has enough astrophage in his ship to give to him to go back home, and that it would only make Rocky go home 6 years slower, which is not a lot of time for Rocky because Rocky's like I think he's like 500 years old or something. he said he was with his mate back at home for like 106 years, 116, something like that. And so they seem to live a very long time. And so, you know, now it is time to kind of like part ways, right? Grace and the Hail Mary undock from Rocky's ship, and Grace starts going back home to Earth. But he figures out something. While he's going back home, there was a leak in the samples that he got from I think it was from the Predator. And apparently the Predator, it causes like radiation or something. So Grace seals it up. Seals like the leak up, and it's all good, but it causes radiation that spreads throughout the astrophage or something like that. It spreads really fast, is what I'm trying to say. And so he's thinking, wait a second. Rocky's ship is probably in trouble, right? Because his crewmates also probably died of radiation, so that must mean he's gonna die. So now he has a choice: either keep going back home and forget about Rocky, or send a couple of probes to Earth with all the information you've learned, the blogs you've made, the samples and all that, and go save Rocky. So he decides to go save Rocky. He decides to send out some probes with all that information. Very good, very nice. Goodbye. And he goes to save Rocky. And this is a final decision because he does not have enough energy to go. If he goes save Rocky, he won't have enough energy to go back home. So he goes save Rocky, and he's like through like the tunnel thing, and he kind of like goes into it, and he's like and he taps on the glass, and he's like, oh, Rocky, Rocky, and he's scared. He's thinking probably that Rocky died because Rocky wasn't showing up. And so after a while, Rocky does show up. He tells Rocky. Rocky's like, oh shoot, you might be right. You might be right about that. And I'm guessing they figure it all out by the end. Because by the end, they're still alive. And then we get a scene of Grace waking up by a beautiful beach. Okay, he's like at a beachside house, beachside resort with Rocky. And we figure out that, wait a second, this isn't Earth. This is arid. This is like where the Iridians live. This is where Rocky lives. So he went back home with Rocky. Well, back to Rocky's home, not to Earth. Back to Rocky's home. And there, guess what he does? He's a teacher. Like he was back on Earth. Wait, now he teaches Iridians. Overall, man, this was an amazing movie. I really, it pulls on your heartstrings. You feel a bunch of different emotions watching it. It's really good. It is really good. If I had to rate it on the GMRS, Glimmerman's movie ranking system, then I would probably give it a... Honestly, I'm going to give this a low level 6. I do think this is like deserving of the title masterpiece. Because for me, it did that, bro. It did that for me, I'm gonna give it a low level 6. I don't think it's like the most influential thing of all time ever, but it's definitely a masterpiece for me, man. It was a really good movie. It is paced well. It is explained pretty well what's happening. Obviously, me with less than 10 brain cells when I put them all together. Even I, understood some of this stuff that was going on. But I understood the emotions. Overall, I understood the emotions, the feelings. They did really good with that. They did extremely good with that. It was a good movie. It was a really good movie. So, level 6 on the GMRS. Thank you so much for watching. That's about it for this video. So, if you liked it, and if you watched until this far, then thank you very much. If you want to leave it a like, you can. If you want to subscribe, you can. And if you want to comment, then you also can do that. All right? So, again, thank you very much for watching this video. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourself. And I will see you in the next video.